have this to look at later. That way, if we come up with a solution or whatever, you can go back to this video and go, okay, what were we all saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so you're using local storage in Ajax or not Ajax, you were using local storage in JSON, right?
Yeah, because I'm doing that. I think in this one I have that. I've changed it so many times trying to get it to work that who knows what's left.
Right. So which example were you talking about that you were trying to do it?
The one I sent to you that day.
Right.
Kind of the code where I was trying to, I created multiple functions. I put like an add, a remove, a list item, add to cart.
Right.
In order to use functions. My problem was getting the data into the array, and then getting it back out and displaying it. And you said put in the name equals document get element by ID.
Yeah, because what that does is it pulls the name of it from the DOM.
Okay.
That's the only way you're going to get the value of each of those inputs is pulling it from the DOM.
So it's pulling it and dumping it into the name variable.
So when you type in an input, it'll store it in that variable.
Yes.
And then when you do the document.getElementById, by ID, you're saying, okay, grab this element from this ID, take the value of it. So you need document.getElementById, by ID, this ID dot value to grab that value. And then you're going to dump it into this name.
The new name variable that we created.
Variable. Correct.
Okay, so how when you display your shopping cart, do you display it in the function or do you display it from the HTML code? I mean, is there? I don't know which way. I don't know how to display it.
So the way you could display it is call another element, say document.getElementById display, and have a div that's a display element, and then go in and say inside that div you're gonna do an inner HTML. If you remember our DOM example last week, you're gonna say, okay, inside here I want to put an inner HTML. I want to put this name variable. I want to put this location variable, but I'm going to put like name : and then the variable or whatever in order to display it. Does that make sense?
Because I actually did the input with a form in the HTML code. So I put name : input ID equals name, and then I put all the different name, location, quantity. And then I put an input submit with an on-click with the add item to cart, name, location, quantity, going to the function. So, I don't know, we can talk about this later.
Well, Michael's power just went out.
Power went out?
Yeah, for Michael.
Did he just message you by text or something? Oh.
No, he did a personal message because I asked if he was coming.
Yeah. Huh.
And he said his power went out.
Where does Michael live again?
Yeah. He's isn't he the Texas?
Oh, is he Texas? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's central.
Where are you, Jason?
Yeah, I think.
I'm in Boise, so. I was just wondering, because we've had some pretty windy, bad weather here, so I was just wondering maybe if his power went out.
We had flipping.
Well, we had snow this morning.
Oh gosh.
Where are you at, John?
Heber.
Oh yeah.
Heber. That's right. I knew that. Yeah, you probably got more snow because you're in the canyon.
Oh.
All of a sudden, I was like, did I lose everybody? Had a minute there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Michael's trying to type, but we might as well get going with John's, and if Michael can join us, let's just see what Michael's going to say. He's typing. And then we can go over John's PowerPoint. And if Michael doesn't end up coming, we could go over, see if we can figure something out for him. But he's still typing.
You know, I've changed my code so many flipping times that who knows what the heck it's doing.
Yeah, been there.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
I mean, my problem too is, he's got us running JavaScript, but man, I haven't done HTML stuff in a long time either, so I'm struggling on both sides.
Yeah, well, I've even done it pretty recently, but you forget it so quickly if you don't do it all the time. So
I use HTML way too often, so I don't.
So you never forget it.
It doesn't seem like it, at least.
Yeah.
Well, you want down? You want down? There you go. No, you can't sit with me, girl.
My stuff's fairly quick. Hopefully he gets his power back.
Yeah, he's still typing. I mean, he was typing and then stopped typing. Could ask him a question and then started typing again. So hopefully we'll figure something out.
So how have you guys done on your different fluency reviews? How many have you have done?
I've got one that's all the way up at skilled, but that's only the HTML Canvas one that is super simple.
Because I'm failing the class by his scores so far.
Well, yeah, I still got enough.
Everyone is.
Yeah,
that's how it's supposed to be.
So he gave me that 10 on the HTML one like we looked, and then I got a couple of little scores that says, hey, you've done good on these little pieces, but it'll get better as you go along in the class.
Yeah, so basically what he's saying by that is to combine it with other things.
Yeah. And that's why I'm trying to do this darn shopping list thing, and it's not being my friend.
Yeah. Yeah, well, if we have time, we can
Okay.
go over it and see if we can figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Michael says he's going to try and possibly hotspot his phone to his computer. Because I asked him if he could hotspot. He said if he can't and his power doesn't return in time, he'll just record his lesson and post it in general.
Okay.
And then we can just go look through it. So let's just go ahead and get started. If you want to share your screen, John, we can get going.
Okay. Share.
Go get it, Caitlin. Oh, look. Oh, hop up. Hop up. You're okay. Caitlin, where's Matthew?
So can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So, Melissa, I'm pretty sure you've done a lot of the CSS stuff, but this actual topic was actually really fun for me because I haven't really done much of this stuff. So I had a lot of fun time playing around with it and trying to get things to work. Did you say something, or did I lose you guys?
No.
Okay.
I think Melissa just muted hers, but that's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no,
it got really quiet. We lost someone.
To yourself.
So, okay, so on the CSS transitions definitions, it provides a way to control animation speeds with changing CSS properties. Instead of having to change the properties, take effect immediately. So, example, if you want to change the color from white to black, or zoom in or out, or that type of stuff, that's kind of things you can do with the transition side of things. It's actually pretty cool. I had I had a lot of fun time playing around with it. But I think once we get into the with the animation, and what's the third? There's a third one we have to do. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, transformation, transition, and I don't know.
It's pretty cool. Some of the things you can do with it.
Yeah.
So,
Animation was the other one.
What was the other one?
Animation.
Animation. Yeah.
Yeah, transition, transformation, and animation.
Yeah, that's good. I think it's some pretty neat stuff.
Yeah.
I played around with it quite a bit this week, trying to find some cool things you can do with it. I mean, the one I show at the end is pretty basic, but I think it's kind of cool. It's fun playing with it. So, to create the effect, you need two things. You need the property you want to add to the effect, and then you put in like the durations. And there's different type of properties you can put with that. And then on to the right, it just shows a little example of what you put in the CSS file, some things you can do, which was interesting, which maybe you guys can answer this question too, is the WebKit piece. That seems to be a Safari WebKit piece that does the same thing that transition does down at the bottom. So
Correct.
you really don't need that, at least what I found.
You don't need it unless you're working in Safari. There's also a dash moz and a dash.
Yeah, and I think
else.
I think it's older Safaris because I took it out of my code and just did the one line get element ID using the transition piece, and it worked in my Safari. But my Safari,
it's for,
of course, is older. It's like for version 6, I think, and like 4 through 6.
It's for older versions. It's a way of saying, okay, put this in the code just in case someone with an older version decides to use it. Otherwise, it won't work for them.
Yeah, and so I took mine out because I didn't need it for this piece. But that's kind of what I got out of that. Also, is that it's just a built-in WebKit transition piece for Safari browser.
Okay.
All the other browsers seem to work fine, I guess, without that piece.
Yeah.
So, and then here's kind of the style transition properties. The definition and uses of transformation property is the shorthand property of the 4 transitions, which are the transition property, transition duration, transition timing function, and then the transition delay. And then just the note, always specify the transition duration property. Otherwise, the duration is, and it will not affect it. Which is interesting. There's also, you can also put, and I'll show that what I did in my code, instead of putting all different transitions, if you want them all to be the same, all you have to put in is quote all 2 seconds or all, whatever seconds you want the delay to be, or the different pieces, the duration or the timing. So here's the property values, which kind of just gives a little description of each one. I don't know if we want to go through all of them, but I mean, you can kind of see, it defines the effect, when it will start, specifies the speed of the curve. The duration one shows how many seconds or milliseconds the transition effect takes. One thing I was just thinking about right now, in some of the stuff, remember how we put like 2,000 milliseconds for 2 seconds? In this one, you can actually put like just 2s for 2 seconds. So you can use either milliseconds or seconds.
That's nice. I don't like the conversion.
Yeah, to me, 2 seconds is much better than 2,000 milliseconds.
I don't get the conversion right. Is it like 2,000? Is it 2 million? I know there's a 2 in there somewhere. All the zeros. Yeah, I have to look.
So you'll see in my code, I put the 2 seconds because it's much easier just to put 2s.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't break out the properties. I didn't do a different piece for each one. I just did the all 2 seconds. So it took all the different properties and put 2 seconds on each one. So I'll show you that. So here's just some transition examples. There's a hover one, which is a dev element that gradually changes the appearance, and it shows how the example of the document.get element with the transition style. See where it says all 2s? That's kind of right here. This is the command I put in my function to do my piece of code.
Yeah, that's the DOM.
Yeah.
That's how you manipulate the DOM, is by doing the .style.transition. And that actually works for the manipulating CSS through JavaScript. That's what that is too.
Yeah.
It doubles as DOM and that.
And that's the piece I put in mine, which is it's pretty cool. And then just down below, I kind of showed how the syntax works, which you saw in the hover piece there. Return that you put the object, the style, and the transition, and it just shows you how to put. You can put each different piece in, like where it says transition property. You can put each piece in if you want different amounts of seconds between the different transitions for the different properties. But or you can put like the all 2s like it shows up above.
Would you put spaces between them, or would you put commas between them, or would you put the pipes between them? Meaning, what do you put between the 4 different ones if you want to do all 4?
In here, it looks like it puts the pipe, but We'll have to look that one up because I'm not positive on that one. I didn't think about that. Or you know what? I did see one where they put a line for each one. You know what I mean? They broke them out.
Right. You can do that. It's like border, where border you can have 1 pixel, solid, black,
Yeah.
or you can have border width, border style, border color.
I would take it. I doubt it's piping, and I'd take a guess they probably use commas.
Either that or probably spaces.
Semicolons.
Because in CSS, normally they just put spaces.
Really?
Between everything. So like 1 pixel, space, solid, space, black, or margins. You just put spaces between each of them, and it'll just count. Okay, here's the space here. Here's the space here.
Yeah. We'll have to look that one up. That's an interesting question because I didn't break mine out. So, and then I just have a couple examples, the ones like I did, and I'll show you what. Let me end this. And can you guys see? Where's my Safari? Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm a big time BYU Cougars fan. I grew up there, so I was kind of messing around with this one. So basically, what this one is doing is you watch you click the ready and watch out, see how it kind of transitions. I changed the color from a light blue going to a dark blue, and then transition expanding it inside the code, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I was working on changing it into a football, and then putting a picture of a BYU Cougar in the middle.
You can do that. You just have to change the border radius of it.
Yeah, I was working on that, but I never finished getting to it. But that's probably what I'll end up doing is changing it into going from a football to.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And that was actually very simple to do. And that's why I'm kind of excited about the moving into kind of the animation and all the different pieces because you can add a lot more stuff to it. Now this one right here is way cool if I can find it. This is one I just found online that was, in his notes he kind of talked about a card flipping thing.
Yeah.
Check this out. And by the way, this is not my code. This is just one I borrowed. So look how you can go across them and flip them from front to back. And hovering, and then you can sit there and you can come through and click on the ones you want to flip. And then this one down here at the bottom is just a random where it's going through flipping the different pieces.
Yeah, he said he loves those, didn't he?
So I think as we get further into this will be something more that hopefully we can learn how to do.
Yeah.
But I thought that was kind of a neat piece. And then over here, see there's that function I was telling you about that goes through and takes my Cougars and calls that transition with the all seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the CSS file, it just shows, I turned the color white for my wording because you couldn't see it before. And then I added the the hover piece where it transitions when you go over the top of it. It changes to this setting here, which was kind of cool.
Nice.
And then this was just the standard piece where I call the function when you click on the button and you hover over it and it goes. Fairly simple, but to me it was a learning experience.
Yeah.
That's interesting. You don't call the transition in the CSS. You do it through the JavaScript.
Yeah.
There's a way where you can do it in the CSS where I think it's just called transition, or I think it might be, maybe that's animation. Because I know you can do animation colon different things, but maybe there's a transition too.
Yeah.
Be interested to look into that.
Yeah, so I mean, that's basically, what I learned this week on the transition sides. I think the transition, like I said, is fairly basic. I think it's when we get into the animation where we learn some cool things we can do. And I did mess around with some buttons where if you hover over the buttons, they kind of look like they're three-dimensional, which was kind of cool too. But that didn't use JavaScript calling. That was just messing with the CSS files. But so that's basically it on my side.
Very cool.
And then
there's some of the funner stuff, isn't it?
yeah, we'll have to look up the that transition piece, how you break that out, if that's if it's just spaces or commas or what.
I would assume it would be spaces if it's CSS, but at the same time, doing it through the DOM, things are a little different.
Yeah.
Because like if you call through the DOM, you want to change like the border color. In CSS, normally it's border dash color, but you can't use a dash in the DOM. So it's border and then a capital C and it's camel case border color.
Mm-hmm.
So things might be a little different. I don't know.
No, it was pretty fun learning that stuff this week.
Yeah.
My problem's trying to keep up on all the different pieces we're learning.
Yeah,
right.
A lot.
But
So here's that syntax the way you showed it before, with the pipes in between, and then is this the same thing down here? Transition property, width, height.
yeah, go down a little bit further. Is there a
Transition property, HTML DOM reference.
Are you under DOM or are you under CSS?
This is under.
Because
This is under CSS.
that's how you do it under CSS, but you'd want to do it under the HTML DOM.
Yeah.
So under HTML, not JavaScript. So I think it would be under HTML DOM over here on the side, on the left side.
Yeah, I've got it here. This is.
There you go. With comma height.
With comma.
That's what it looks like.
so the down commas?
And it's transition property.
There's different properties, timing. Doesn't show an example.
Here, scroll down for the syntax at the
Oops.
bottom there. Or maybe that'll work. It just shows syntax down there. Okay, so you can say none, you can say all, you can say initial or inherit, or you can put the actual property. And the property defines a comma-separated list of CSS property names. The transition effect is 4. Okay.
So it's done by commas?
Comma-separated, yep.
Cool. I don't know if Michael's going to make it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah.
So what are you guys thinking?
I don't think he's going to make it.
No, I don't think he is.
Well, we could do 3 next week.
Yeah, either that or he can just, like he was saying, do it, video it himself and then share it on the board.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Kind of like his own little YouTube little video thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know. Either that or we could try and get together tomorrow or Friday just to view his. Would that be something everyone might be able to do?
Either way,
Um,
Friday I'm traveling to Vegas. So I'll be in the car, but I could still probably do it.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Jason?
Friday would be the only day I could do it because I'm meeting with 2 groups tomorrow, and one of them is for a big presentation. So I'm gonna take
No
most
worries
of the
there.
night. But yeah, we could do Friday, or yeah, like John said, if we want to just tack it on to next week, if he wants to teach that week.
Okay. Yeah, we'll check with him, see what he wants to do. Because
Yeah.
that would also mean he'd have to teach 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. But
But
yeah,
he
leave it
probably
up
already
to,
has this thing ready.
yeah. Yeah, it's up to him if he wants to create a presentation, if he just wants to give it next week, if he doesn't want to bother doing that, whatever he wants to do.
All right. Well, we can check with them on the group board or on Slack and figure out from there.
Yeah. That'll work.
Sounds good.
Thanks for your presentation, John.
Should we just let off early?
I was thinking that Brother James was going to get on today after some of the.
Yeah, I actually did invite him specifically because he kept saying invite me. Because normally I just copy the link into the Slack, and so I made sure to specifically, grab the link, but also invite him. So he'd get an email. So we'll see.
Hey, really quick, can you guys kind of look at this really quick, my code, and see if there's something that stands out really quick?
Yeah, go for it. See what we can do. See if my daughter will let me.
Well, I just want to see what I'm flipping missing. Oh, what did I just do?
Yay.
Okay, what caused that?
That's when you're looking at the Google Hangout.
Did it go away?
It's what happens every time. Yeah. Basically, what it was I was looking at your screen, but you were looking at my screen, which was showing your screen, and so it was just going back and forth.
Okay. Yeah. So look what I did here. If you look, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So this was the code. I cut and pasted into a file because I've changed it so many times. Here's where I was doing my input, where I input the name, location, quantity, and then you add it and hit the add to cart button. And then down here was my script where I created a shopping cart array.
Okay.
And then I created a variable with the function where it gets name, location, and quantity. And then when I was talking to you, Melissa, you mentioned I needed to create this inside my add to cart or add item to cart function, create this piece which goes and gets the value, right?
Right. So right now you've got function add items to cart, name, location, quantity. But are you actually passing those values in anywhere?
Yes. So how do I pass them? I mean, that's what I thought. I thought this was passing them. It must not be.
No, that's not passing them.
That's where my problem is then.
What normally would pass them is if you had a get or a post in your method, but that ends up using the server, or you'd have to go to another page or different things like that. And so that would be how you would normally do it. But what you can do is just say on that line that you've highlighted, say add items to cart with nothing in it. Take out the name, location, quantity inside the parentheses. And then just inside your function, add items to cart, where you've got your var name, var location, var quantity. You've already got the document.getElementById.value, and that's it right there. So then if you come to the line where you've actually...
So take out the part I took out, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now come down to your function, add items to cart, and take out name, location, quantity inside the parentheses so that it matches. No, down one.
There you go.
There you go.
I thought I needed those in there.
No. You only need them if you're passing them in. Since you're not passing them in and you're actually getting them from the DOM, it's not going to work. So since you're getting them now right here, those first 3 lines, those are your values.
Okay.
So now if you were to say console line or console.log name,
shop cart,
location, and quantity, it would show you. Now you need them on item. That one is where you need them because you're passing in this name, location, quantity that you have here.
Yeah.
on your var item equals new item, that's you need them there. But on the initial one, you can't really. You're saying this dot name equals name. Is that just to save them in your item object?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Can you do var item equals function?
So up top here, if I input them up here by doing this where where we're not passing this stuff, right? That'll automatically take it and put it in these down here.
Yeah, so what it does is when you click that button, it'll take you to this function and it'll go grab all the values.
Oh, cool. See, I thought I had to have those darn things in there.
That's only for if you have the name, the location, and the quantity outside of the function and you need to pass them in.
Okay.
This way, you're technically grabbing them from outside, but you're just grabbing the values.
Okay.
Now, I've never seen a var item equals a function in JavaScript before. Can you do that?
In this piece?
No, up. Where you actually create var item equals function, name, location, quantity.
Where are we looking, right here?
No, up higher.
Oh, you're talking these.
Yeah, just the right up above that, var item equals function. I don't know if I've ever seen that in JavaScript before. Have you looked that up to make sure that that's something you can do?
Watching a video on some of this stuff, and that's kind of the way they showed how to do it.
I have seen something like that before, but I'm trying to. I can't remember where I found it.
I haven't seen it in JavaScript before. I've seen it in other.
This was JavaScript. This was done in JavaScript.
Well, yeah, it said var, so obviously it was done in JavaScript. It just doesn't really make sense to me. But maybe I just don't know JavaScript so well. I kind of live in jQuery, and I shouldn't.
I tell you, that jQuery stuff's confusing too. I was looking at all that stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so confusing. So. Okay, well, that at least that'll at least get me started where I can go at least see how far I can get now with this stuff.
Yeah, and you can use what's called a console.log.
Yes.
So if you can make sure that you're getting those variables. It'll display it in the console.
Yes.
But it'll tell you that you're getting the variables.
I've been doing that in the console, and I've been doing it with the piece that shows you if it makes it into the local storage.
Oh, good.
You know, where you can go look and see. I've seen it going into local storage. I just can't get it to. Well, it goes into local storage if I add it manually. You know, add to my array manually.
Well, yeah, you have to add it manually. I thought that's the only way you can get it into local storage. It's not going to do it automatically.
No. I meant as in I add to my array manually to see something go into my array, like all the different items, the name, the location, quantity. Because I wasn't even sure if that was going in there.
Gotcha.
And so if I add those manually, then I can go to my local storage and it shows my array with the different pieces in it that are saved out in the local storage.
Gotcha. So you're trying to make sure that your function is actually adding to the array?
Yes. I just wanted to make sure the function was adding it down to it.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay. Well, good luck. Yeah. Michael is not going to join us. He said that his phone battery is too low in order to do that.
Yeah.
But he said because I told him he could either present next week or we could just do a quick one on Friday. And he said whatever works best for you guys.
Okay.
So
either way, I've got to drive to Vegas, but I'll have internet and stuff, so I can get on or more. I'm good at driving and watching the same. Just kidding. I'll have my wife.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as long as you aren't driving.
Well, so I was planning on my wife driving anyway, so I can work on some of this coding stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's 6 hours I can work on my classes.
Definitely.
Okay, good. Because I was gonna say I'm still broadcasting this.
No, I don't.
I'm telling the teacher.
I don't. I don't drive and do my schoolwork at the same time.
You'll
Okay, good.
probably lose a lot of reception going down to Vegas, though. I'm sure there's probably a lot of dead spots.
I thought I-15 wasn't too bad, but we'll
Wasn't
see.
it?
I've got a little
Yeah.
Verizon. I got a little Verizon MiFi that seems to be pretty good. So
Oh, okay. That'd probably work. Yeah, so
Yeah.
here's an example on Stack Overflow of someone. It looks like they're creating an object with this function. That's kind of weird. I've never seen that syntax before, but
Yeah, I guess that is what it does.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess I just never have done objects in JavaScript before.
Yeah.
So
It is a little different, but I guess it's possible.
I'll have to look into it.
so if
Yeah.
Brother
'Cause,
James,
I mean, we're supposed to do objects in the object one. So
so if Brother James is going to watch our video, we should probably say Casablanca is awesome, right?
Oh yes, Casablanca
Well-
is awesome, Brother James. So you know.
And,
yeah, and I've actually seen What's Up Doc
What's
several
Up, Doc?
times. It's a good
Yep.
one.
Yeah.
that's cool. Okay, guys. Well, just post on that that Slack deal if we want to get on Friday, or if we just want to, however we want to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll check with him.
We'll find a way.
All right. Well, thanks for meeting, guys, and thanks for your presentation, John.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to you
Thanks, you
later.
guys.
We'll see you.
See everyone later.
Talk to you later.